Hi, welcome to my tutorial on how to make a produce bag out of single-use plastic bags. My name's Shay Tillotson and this is for my sustainability project. Here you can see the final product. I'm holding some fruit in there and it's pretty sturdy. So yeah, let's get started. So for this project you'll only need a couple materials. First you'll need scissors and also a crochet needle. And then lots of plastic bags. So the first step is to take a plastic bag and then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut the very end of the plastic bag, just like the seam where the pieces of plastic have been together. So right along this section right here, just cut that off and then we're going to make strips and loop them together. So I would say about like 1-inch strips, and the smaller the strips are, the easier they are to work with. So if you make smaller strips, it'll take more time on this step, but later when you're crocheting, you'll be thankful that you have to cut less plastic bags. So that is totally up to you. Also, I'm using a 6.5mm crochet needle for the plastic bags. That's just because that's the biggest crochet needle I own. I think that a slightly larger one might work, depending on how thick you cut your strips. Thinner strips will also help to cut down the bulk that happens in some of my bags, so I will show you that at the end, but sometimes they get a little bulky with thicker strips. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up for you guys, but basically I just strip this bag and then the next two. So after you strip the bag, you'll be left with this top part with the handle. I'm not really sure what to do with it yet, so if you have any ideas, let me know. I've just been collecting them for later, so let me know in the comments what you think I should do. Now I'm gonna take 2 of the loops that we created and loop them together so we can have one long string of plastic bags. So you see I pulled the one under and over the other one and then pulled it tight. And then you can just repeat this whole process every time you need more yarn. So I'm gonna actually show you the rest of this tutorial using yarn, like actual yarn, because I think it'll be easier for you to see the small movements that I do with my crochet needle because it's less bulky. So I hope that's helpful. I will still show you what different steps with the plastic looks like in the end product for sure. So the first step is to make a magic loop. So you can take the end of your yarn and place it in your hand and hold it there with your fingers. Wrap the working yarn around your finger in an X. And then you can loosen the end of it a little bit so you can stick your crochet needle in there. And you'll go under the first part of the X and over the second part, pulling that through, and then you'll make a little loop by twisting, and then you take the working yarn and pull it through the loop hole. Then you can pull it off your finger and you've got a little magic loop. So then I like to pull that open so I have more space, and then now holding both ends together you'll crochet 10 stitches into this little loop. Once you've crocheted all 10, we can pull the end of the magic loop and it cinches it tight together for a more cohesive look. I'll show you that later. Making a single crochet is very easy, so you can try to follow along here. I'll walk you through it on this one. So you'll put your crochet needle under and then you'll pull a piece of the yarn over, and then you'll do it again and pull it through both of the loops. So here you can see it again. Yarn through both of those loops. So yarn under, a little bit under with it, pull it both through both. There's also plenty of YouTube tutorials online if this is a little bit confusing, but I hope that is helpful for you. So after you complete your last one, you'll pull it tight to create a little circle and close the center part, and then you'll stitch one stitch into the last loop of the first one we crocheted, and this is just to make the circle complete so it is all the way around the magic loop. So it's just a single crochet through the last one of your first crochet. And now you have the base of your bag. So now we'll be extending our bag by putting 2 single crochets in every loop from the first round. So in this one, I'm gonna stick it in and do a single crochet like so, and then I'm gonna stick my needle back in the same hole to do another one, and then I'll do this all the way around, doubling up my stitches. And then I just wanted to show you what it looks like with the plastic bag, so you have a reference for when you do it yourself. So the same process, you hold it in your hand, and this time I'm using 2 fingers because of the bulkiness of the plastic, but you create an X just like you did before. You go under, make sure to go under both sections, and then over and twist, and then you go and grab the working yarn and pull it through to make a little loop. So now you've got your magic loop, and you just crochet like normal. I found that I wasn't able to put as many loops into this one because of the bulkiness, so you can just put however many it takes to fill out the magic loop. This is what the plastic base looks like, and now we'll go back to yarn. So now we're going to be working up the sides of the bag. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a single crochet in the first loop like normal, and then you're gonna, instead of going back in, you're gonna go up. So you do 1, 2, 3 loops up, and then you'll go into the next loop after that. So you've got your little line, and you'll stick it into the next loop, and then do 3 more loops up, just like this. So you're creating a little tiny hole. And then this is what it looks like when we've done that all the way around. You can see it kind of has a flower shape instead of a circle shape now. And so the next step is to do the same thing, but now you've done 4. So here are my 4 loops that I created instead of the 3. And then you're going to take that and put it into the first loop of the 3 you've made, and single crochet just like normal, like that. And so now you're going to do a whole row of 4 loops, putting them into the little tiny loops that you've created from the 3. So like here are my 4, and then I'm going to place them into the loop that was created by the 3 loops that we did on the last round, and then do this all the way around the circle. This is what it looks like with 4 of the loops. It's getting bigger, and you can see that the loops with 4 is bigger than the loops with 3. So now we're going to do the same thing, but now we're looping 5 together, and then we'll loop this row of 5 into the holes created from the loops of 4 from the last round. And you can just keep doing this. So I think I stopped at 9 loops up, but every row you can just increase them. So here, just saying you increase, and it gets wider and wider as you go up. So here is what it looks like when I've done all of my rows, and now the next step is to crochet single crochets into each of the small loops. So like each stitch that we make, we're going to crochet into each of those loops. So here I am going into the first one and doing a single crochet, and then I'll go into the next one right next to it, right there, and do a single crochet. And we're going to be doing this all the way around so we can create an edge for the bag. I can speed this one up for you too and talk about some environmental benefits in the meantime. I wanted to create a project that used plastic bags because I know that they are really prevalent in American society. In the US, we use 100 billion plastic bags per year, which requires 10 million barrels of oil to manufacture, and all of these plastic bags have to go somewhere, but only 1% of them are returned for recycling, so the rest end up in landfills where they take over 500 years to degrade, but they degrade into microplastics that absorb toxins and pollute the environment. or they find their way into water. Some estimate that more than 100,000 marine animals are killed by plastic bags annually. So I wanted to find a way to divert this plastic into something that is useful, and thus the plastic produce bags were born. Okay, now back to the tutorial. So now that you've gone all the way around, you'll have to cut off, I would say, like double the circumference of the circle you've created. So I'm just measuring it out a little bit and then cutting, because now you have to weave the end of the string into each of the loops of the single crochets you've stitched. So here I'm showing you close up. You'll put your needle into the first loop, and then here it is, that small loop, and then you'll pull the loop all the way through both, and you'll only have 2 on this one, but you'll pull it all the way through, and then you just repeat that all the way around the circle. It takes some time, but it's definitely doable. And then this, after we finish going all the way around, we'll pull that string to create a cinched top. We won't put it all the way, but we'll pull it to make a top of the bag. So now I'm just gonna zhuzh the string through, so the top of the bag is a little bit narrower than the middle of the bag. It's a little bit tricky because there's so many loops involved, but you just kind of play with it and pull it around and mess with it, and you can see how it's creating a top for the bag. So here's the bag, and I've just tied a knot at the end so that it can't fall through, and I'm making the knot bigger so that the string can't come undone, like so. And then I'll cut that off, and the bag will be all set to go. And that's it. Congratulations, you have made yourself a reusable bag. Woohoo! Here's the final product with the plastic bag. You can see that it's a little bit bigger. I even did less rows than I did with the yarn one. And I used about maybe like 15 plastic bags. So here it is with fruit. It can hold, it's pretty sturdy, it can hold a lot. And I think it's kind of cute. Hooray, we did it! Good job. Thanks for watching.